What is going on, Draw It 2 crew? Ramny here with a brand new drawing tutorial video for you guys, and in this episode I'm going to be showing you guys how to draw Chewbacca, or Chewie as he appears in the Star Wars universe. Chewie has actually looked the same throughout the span of the Star Wars movies, from A New Hope all the way to the newest ones, but in this particular movie, Solo, a Star Wars movie, he looks a little bit different. Now that's not the tutorial that I'm going to do for you guys. I'm going to do the Chewie that we know from like the other Star Wars movies, but in Solo he's got like the two utility belts go over his shoulders. I think that's what's different. So if you want to modify this one to look like the Solo version of Chewie, feel free to do that. I am very excited for Solo to come out, especially in the summer. Now, if you guys have been following me for a long time, you'll know that I usually do Star Wars tutorials at the end of the year because that's when Star Wars movies come out. But this time around, they have a Solo movie, they have this movie coming out in the summer. So this is why I'm featuring Star Wars in the summer as well. All right, you guys, so I'm sure you're ready to draw. Here are the tools that you're going to need for this drawing. You're going to need a pencil, an eraser, any type of white paper, and black ink pens with different sized nibs for inking. Keep in mind 3 things as you guys are watching this tutorial. Number 1, if you feel like I'm going way too fast in this video, you can pause it or slow it down at the bottom right of the screen so that you guys can work at your own pace. Number 2, and here's the important one, feel free to modify this tutorial to your liking. Some people want to draw the individual hairs on Chewbacca, feel free to do that. But if you want to simplify it even more and just draw like clumps of hair instead, you can do that as well. It's your drawings, modify it as you wish. And number 3, you guys, if at all your drawings look nothing like mine, that is fine as well, as long as you guys are happy with your results. Anyway, let's get started with the tutorial, having said all of that. All right, you guys, so for Chewbacca, I've got my paper in portrait mode, and let's get started. We're going to draw the full body, and I'm going to start by drawing the head at the top. And the head, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to draw an oval, but note that my oval is tilted this way. You don't want to do that too much, but this is essentially it right here. Okay? Now with that, we're going to draw that's kind of how his hair goes, and his hair kind of goes down like this as well. So there's the head. Now we're going to draw a very long, lanky body. Chewbacca isn't really known for being muscular, so we're going to draw him kind of, how do you say it, I guess, more thin and tall and not so muscular. So what I'm going to do is I drew the spine. This is kind of how I want the body to flow. And then along with that is I'm going to draw just 2 lines that sort of follow that spine curve like that. Okay. Now right around here is going to be where his torso ends and then where his feet start. And from here, I guess I'll draw the thigh like this, and notice that my lines are pretty, what do you call it? They're curvy, they're not rigid and straight. So there's that, and then this one right here does this, and it's a little bit further back, so I'm going to make it shorter than this one. Okay, and then right here, it does that, and then the feet, I'm just going to open it up, kind of like Groot's feet. If you guys followed my tutorial on Groot, it just opens up like this, and we'll worry about that a little bit later on. This one goes like this. Okay, so follow this curve like this, and then like that. Okay, so the thigh kind of goes in this, like in this kind of curve, and then the bottom of the leg goes in this kind of curve, so it does this. Okay, and then just end it here by making this triangular pattern for his feet. Okay, now make sure that your Chewbacca is skinny, and I'm noticing that mine's getting a little bit chubby, and that's fine. Like, you don't want him thick. So there you go, there's our little Chewbacca. I'm gonna try to get all of that into frame. There. Okay, now we're going to draw the arms, and the arms right here, and this one is at the front like this. So this arm is actually in the back, so you don't really see much of this arm, but here it's right at the front. Okay, so it does that, and then we're gonna draw his blaster. He's gonna have his blaster, his bowcaster. It's like a crossbow. That's also a laser gun. It's going to be right around here. So before we even draw the arms, let's draw the thing that he's holding, and then we'll just draw the arms around that. Okay, so start right here. Kind of, so here's the bicep. I'm going to start just below that bicep, and I'm going to go kind of towards the crotch here. Okay, for now I'm going to draw it like a rectangle. Like this, that extends down so that it's a 3D shape, so it's a rectangular prism on its side like this. Okay, and then of course the bow parts, we'll just draw it like this for now. You want to do the same thing, same length on the other side, same angle. You actually want to make this kind of angle to it. Okay, and then the circular things at the end. There you go. There's Chewie's little gun thing. Now we're gonna put, let me zoom in, and we're gonna put his hands right here. So I'm gonna draw sausages like this: 1, 2, 3, and then 4. And there's just fingers that are holding the side of the gun here, okay, of the front of the gun. So now we know where the fingers are going to go. Here's the thumb. The thumb, I guess, for me, the thumb is going to cover like the crotch area here. I got to be careful how I draw this. Okay, I'm just going to draw like this. Oh gosh, that looks really funny, you guys. Okay, make sure it does not look like anything else. There you go. Oh my god. Okay, there's the thumb, and now let's connect this to this, okay? So first the upper arm, not too muscular, right? And then the forearm there. There you go. Oh man. That is a poor placement of the hand, but that's okay. Try not to make it look like anything else. You guys know what I mean, right? Okay, there. I forgot to zoom out as I drew that arm, but essentially, that's what it looks like. Don't give him too big of muscles. There. Okay, now over here, here's the bicep, comes out this side, right? Half of it is covered by the torso, and then the forearm goes over here. You don't really see his fingers, but his fingers do make a fist. So right around here, I'm gonna kind of draw where his fingers are making a fist here, but it really does get covered by a lot of fur. So there's the hand, and then here's the forearm. Kind of just covers that. So fix that up a little bit more. There you go. Okay. I'm going to erase this spine. Okay, and now we're going to draw the strap or utility belt that he's got from the side up to the shoulder like this. Okay, just a rough idea of where it's going to go. Looks like that. It gets skinnier as you go high up. Oh man, I really need to get this in center. There you go. It gets skinnier as you go higher. And do this for now. This line right here, keep following it and make it parallel to this line. Okay, and make it go over the shoulder like that. Okay, and then lastly we're gonna have his bag his satchel on the side here. I'm just gonna draw it like this for now. Okay, there you go. So there's our base Chewbacca figure, and like I said earlier, you can draw Chewbacca in many different ways. You can have a lot of detail with the hair, or you could just draw them as different clumps. It's completely up to you and what you're comfortable with. Okay, there you go. So now let's get started with the face, and I'm gonna tilt this way so that you guys can see it. So I got my paper tilted. Okay, now you have to get Chewbacca's face right, otherwise it kind of won't look like Chewbacca. So first, he's got a big forehead, so we're gonna leave that forehead kind of high. I'm gonna draw the eye line right here. Okay, here's the center line. I'm gonna draw it like this. Okay, now this is just a guideline, by the way. So this circle here, just so we have an idea of where like the facial structure is going to be, but it's going to be covered in a lot of fur. Okay, so now just fixing it up. So first we're going to start off by drawing, because this is as close as I can get, drawing the nose, and the nose kind of starts off with that bump there, and then it opens wide like this, so it looks like that. And then find a spot right here, and then from here draw a line going that way to this side, and then this way as well. Okay, the nostrils, they just open up right here, tiny little oval here, and here as well. Okay, it's got a ridge over the nose just like that. Of course, this is all kind of going to be dark. Okay, now Chewie has two beady eyes that are small for his face and kind of close to each other. So I'm going to draw the top curve first, and then the bottom like this. And then just half circles for the eyes, and then darken that until you get two eyes. Okay, line going down, and then now we're going to draw an oval. Okay, more like a lemon shape where the two ends are pointy. There. Okay, let's draw that again. So you've got lips. Now let's draw the canine teeth. Those are the sharp teeth on the side, at the top, and then at the bottom they're a little bit shorter, like that. And then line across, and then 3 lines. 1, 2, 3. Oop, messed that up a little bit. 3 lines going across there, and then line across the 2 teeth, and there you go, you got the bottom. I'm gonna shade in inside the mouth there, and then there's Chewie. Kind of. Chewie's face anyway. Okay, now with Chewbacca, you draw the hair. Drawing the hair shows how like the hair flows. So the way that you draw the hair, don't just draw it kind of like this, but figure out how the hair flows from the face, and that's kind of how you want to go. For Chewie's face, it starts off kind of like Spider-Man, where it starts off in between the eyes on top of the nose. So a lot of it goes from that point and it goes further out. Okay. Okay, completely up to you how you want to do this part. But it just goes out like this. And then you just follow that line just above the eyes. Just follow that curve. Okay, and then now it's at this point that you don't want to follow just like a rigid oval around the head, but you want it to, you want it to be like fur. kind of uneven. There you go. So you start off at the top. At the top here, you start off from the center, going out. Okay. The other. So let's leave that for now. The other thing that I want you guys to note is that he's also got fur that comes out from kind of between the nose and the mouth here. It comes out kind of like a mustache, and that's what makes him look like a little puppy dog. So the snout fur comes out like this. There you go. Okay. So it looks like that. Now here's the part where I start to hide the shape of the head and start figuring out, I'm going to zoom out here, how the hair flows from the face to the body. Okay, there's a very clear distinction between the facial hair, because it's lighter than the body hair. The top of the body anyway is dark. Okay, so from the chin, I'm going to draw kind of like a beard, and then just starts flowing down the body like this. And the center of it is lower than the sides, so think of it as like a big epic beard. Okay, and of course it's curvy. Okay, and then here, just follow along the sides of the face here, and then just runs down the sides of the face. Again, you guys, add as much detail or as few details as you want to your Chewie. You can draw each individual hair if you want to, or just draw them in clumps. Okay, I just darkened around the eyes here. I think it looks better. And darken the nose as well. There you go. All right. So that's the face. Now let's focus on the strap before we do the rest of the body. Let's focus on the strap and the details on the gun. Okay, this strap right here is his utility belt, or what we call a bandolier. I think in Star Wars canon they call it a bandolier. And you know, I actually never figured out what he puts in his utility belt, in his bandolier. Okay, so the reason why I drew this line right here is because we're going to draw the individual compartments like this. Okay, because they're like, this thing is made up of almost like a series of boxes. Okay, so there's one. I'm going to draw a tinier one right here. So think of these as 3D boxes or rectangular prisms of differing sizes. So each one of them I'm making a 3D shape, kind of following a pattern here of wide and then narrow. Okay, you notice that these boxes here, they look slightly different from each other in the sense that because of the angle that we're looking at them at. So I'm going to keep going. Now here, this goes wide. I don't think it really matters how many of these you draw, because if you draw them, you can tell that they're distinctly Chewbacca, but I don't think anybody really pays attention how many compartments Chewbacca's bandolier has. Okay. There you go. I'm just gonna go grab something to show you guys, because I want to make a little point, so hang on a second. All right, I'm back. I brought this along with me, and this is sort of what I'm trying to say by these rectangular prisms right here. The way that you draw them in different angles is because it looks different when you look at it from different angles. If you look at it kind of straight on, it looks like that. And sometimes straight on, you see a little bit of the top here, kind of like this. But for these ones, you start to see them tilted like this, and more like that, and like that, you know what I mean? So, and this one kind of looks like this, where you see this side instead. So if it helps you at all, take one of these, something that's rectangular, 3D, and see if you can figure out how to draw it from something like this. So that's what that is. Now, I have a reference, another reference drawing here, where this Chewbacca doesn't have a lot of the hair details like I'm doing here. So if you guys want to draw your hair in clumps, this is exactly what I mean here. Okay, so feel free to do that as well. But I think this is how I'm going to draw my Chewbacca. But you don't have to go into detail like I am. Okay, I'm going to draw one more over here, narrow one. So with the bandolier, you go narrow, narrow box, wide box, narrow box, wide, narrow. And you go from here all the way to the side. And this also acts as a little string for the pouch, which let's kind of draw that right now. Let's give you an idea of what the pouch is going to look. So mine kind of follows this line right here. So I'm going to just see how it sort of flows to the side here, and then you see the pouch. I'm going to draw a ring, and then from that ring it just goes up like that. So that's how this is connected to that. Okay, and then the side, I'm going to draw the front flap. It kind of looks like that, and then it goes down. And then from here, I'm going to draw another one going down like this, so it kind of looks like a 3D bag. Okay, I'm going to draw a little strap going down like that, just for detail. There you go. So that's just the little satchel man purse, Chewbacca man purse. Okay, so now that we have that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to clean up in between these compartments so that it can actually draw the strap itself. Okay, so just clean that up. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a little bit smaller, just lines that connect each compartment to each other. Okay, and all the way till you reach the other side. There you go. Okay, and then each of these compartments has kind of a strap that goes across it. So I'm going to draw two lines that go across the center of the compartments, and then also down the sides of them as well. Okay, there you go. So I think we're good. It's going to double up on that. And that's it. That's probably one of the harder things that you can draw on Chewie here, because he's fairly uniform. Now let's draw the crossbow bowcaster. Okay, I'm going to start right here. Make sure you guys have this shape right. I'm going to start right here by drawing a cylinder, and that's kind of the barrel of the bowcaster, right? I'm not going to draw too much detail on this, just to keep it simple. Okay, so about halfway, I'm going to draw a line going across. Okay, and then right above that, I'm actually going to draw three things, like a laser pointer and scopes. So let me just erase a little bit around it so to make it easier to see. Okay, so first thing, I'm going to draw the cylinder. It's all about basic shapes, you guys. Here's a cylinder in the center, and then on each side are two longer but skinnier cylinders. One there, and then one here. Okay. Connect them here in the center, like that. Add some details to it. Okay, now we're going to divide this cylinder, the center cylinder first, like this. So I'm just drawing these two across, and then just like that. Now same thing over here. Now these two cylinders should be exactly the same, just one on the left and one on the right. Okay. There you go. Okay. This line right here that we did actually goes down the gun on each side. And then we're going to make it a little bit thicker than the rest of the gun. So there you go, thicker. Down each side, just like that. Okay, and then I'm going to draw two lines going down the top of the gun here. Just like that. He's also got kind of like these two, I guess, what you would use to line up something, line of sight kind of thing right there. And then now, once you have that, let's figure out this curve right here. And you want to make sure that they're kind of even. And you start off right here, and it's going to be a little bit tricky because you start off wide and then you go narrow when you reach these like little circles. Okay, so running a line going down like that, and then goes out and gets narrower till you reach the sphere, little ball at the end. Okay, and then over here you want to do the exact same thing. Might take a couple of tries because even now I'm kind of finding it a little bit tricky. Might take a couple of tries for you to figure out the placement of the ball here. I think that's good. There you go. Make sure these balls are sort of similar in size. Okay, let's zoom in. That's as close as I can get. And what I actually want to focus on now are Chewbacca's fingernails, pointy at the end, right? And he's got dark colored fingers. I'm going to draw some wrinkles on those fingers. He is pretty old. Okay, for me, I don't see the thumb, so I'm going to avoid that, the fingernail and the thumb, but maybe just a tiny little bit. But here's, for me, I don't really see much of it anymore. So there you go. Avoid that problem. Forgot to mention, there's a little bit of a ring that hangs at the bottom here, and I think that's part of the strap. He does have, like sometimes he has this on a strap, but for this picture he has taken the strap off, so that's what that ring is for. Okay, right here, like I mentioned, you don't really see much of the hand, just the knuckle, 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 and we're just gonna leave it like that, and then it goes in like so. Okay, you know what, like this is, zooming out, this is actually pretty good, and if anything, I could probably just get you guys to do the rest yourself, you know what I mean? Just draw the fur, make sure that the fur follows a muscular pattern. So for me, like I'm drawing the shoulder fur here to show the shoulder muscle, and then next I'm gonna draw the bicep fur. Don't know exactly what to call it. So the bicep, the fur around the bicep or on the bicep kind of shows you how the bicep curves. So you see a little bit of musculature from just the way that the fur flows. And then now got the forearm. And the bottom part, I like to keep the bottom part a little bit fuzzier than the top because the hair is being pulled by gravity down here. Whereas at the top, it's not really getting pulled by gravity more so than it's just resting on the forearm, you know what I mean? So here, the fur is getting pulled down. Where the fur meets the hand, I initially drew this like round circular thing, but I'm gonna replace that with that kind of fur pattern so that it doesn't look like a wrist strap of some sort. Okay, for the other arm, same thing. Remember to make your fur patterns a little bit kind of random. You don't want them to look like it's been combed, because Chewie's got really fuzzy, unkempt fur. Like it's not been, aside from the face looking nicely groomed, the rest of his body is kind of, the fur goes all over the place. Okay, again right here, so I'm going to erase this curve. This right here, you want to erase that and just make it so that there's hair going forward and covering the rest of the hand. The arms and the hands are different colors. It's going to shade in the fingers on the hand there. Okay, there you go. Now I want to differentiate between the arm and the torso. So I purposely made this darker, this line right here, so that you know that this is the arm and this is the torso right here. Okay, so this line right here is purposely darker. I'm also going to make this darker, thicker when I start inking, so that we know that the chest fur is not the same as the arm fur. And with the chest, just not too much detail, very random. I'm not even looking at my reference photos or anything. I'm just kind of following what I feel the hair should go. Okay, same thing on the sides here and the legs. Okay. So I'm making sure that the hair kind of goes out of the body as well, right? Like it sticks out on the sides, I mean. Remember, it's curvy. He's got some very curly locks. So try not to draw them too straight. Add some curvy patterns to them. And make sure that those curves, I got some that go this way, and then I got some that go this way, and then make sure you got some that are S-shaped. I think a lot of this I'm probably going to touch up on the inking stage. And then again, like I said, I'm going to differentiate each muscle group with these kind of lines here so they kind of close off. So here's the upper leg, like the thigh area is different than the bottom. There you go. And then for the bottom legs, just a simple trick. I'm actually going to make it a little bit wider here. Here, it actually gets lighter. It's dark around this area, and it gets lighter as you go down. Now for the feet, you don't really see a lot of the feet, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw the big toe, and then 1, 2, 3 around it. There's another one that we're going to cover up. And I'm just going to cover the top and the bottom of it with just fur. So that's the easiest way to draw Chewbacca's feet without really having to draw any feet. Just the toes, add the toenails if you want to. You know, I'll draw the 5th one. There you go. There's Chewie's feet there. And then same thing over here. I'm going to draw the big toe right here. And then 1, they get smaller as you go. 1, 2, 3, and then 4. Okay, and then draw the toenails if you want. And then just draw the fur going around the feet like this, so that you don't really need to draw any of the foot details. There you go. Let me zoom out here, you guys, and we are done. As soon as you do that, we're pretty much finished. So, I mean, Chewbacca is difficult in that he has a lot of fur that you kind of have to draw details on, but it's also relatively easy because he's just a big ball of fur and not a lot of, you know, other different types of textures. It's just the texture itself is kind of a challenge if you guys are not used to drawing hair, or if you guys have problems drawing hair, but it does take practice. And that's pretty much it, you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial for Chewie, and stay tuned because there'll be more Star Wars tutorials coming up. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time. And that is all the time that we have for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching all the way to the very end. I hope you guys are successful in your drawings of Chewbacca. If you are, I would love to see your drawings, so please head on over to the Google Plus community or on Instagram and tag me at Draw2 so that I can see your drawings. If you guys are curious about the equipment that I use to do my drawings or to make my tutorials, I have a link down in the description telling you guys exactly what materials I use, so make sure to check that out if you are interested. If you guys did enjoy this tutorial, it would help me a great deal. If you liked this video, comment it down below, subscribed, and shared this with your friends in your social media. And of course, speaking of social media, don't forget you guys can find me on Facebook, Instagram, Google+, and on my website, draw2.com, where you can download a free coloring page of this Chewbacca tutorial drawing that we did in this video. Again, you guys, the links to all of that are down in the description below. So once again, thank you so much. And as always, stay tuned for more so you can learn to draw it too. I'll see you guys in my next tutorial video.